In this episode, I create my own ambient lighting, wait for a game to load,
Yeah, sure. Why not?
and go around some corners.
All good, all good. Nothing to see here.
Hi guys, Matthew here and welcome back again to my channel. I've been teasing you with this monstrosity behind me for a while now. Yeah, okay, it's not that big, but in the context of being hooked up to a PC, it kinda is. I forgot to turn on the lights. That's better. So now after 3 months of extensive use, I'm ready to make my final verdict. Yeah, if you can just get it. But before you go ahead and card swipe, double click, Face ID, thumb, finger scan, or whatever you do to release your paycheck away, let me just first channel some of my experience with it. Although since you're already here, you're probably way down that sim racing rabbit hole. And you're not just going to turn around. I know I haven't. Oh yeah, and before I continue, if you're wondering what kind of setup I'm using here, that's actually Fanatec's brand new affordable direct drive CSL DD wheelbase, and also there's McLaren GT3 V2 wheel. I'll put the links in the comment section down below if you want to check it out, while the rig itself is SimLabs P1X, coupled with their display stand. Also, I've noticed that a lot of you watching my videos aren't subscribed, so consider doing that because I do a lot of sim racing content which is intertwined with PC and other hardware related topics. Okay, let's move on. By the way, it's the day after I recorded that intro. I just watched the Australian GP. Yeah, I woke up at 6 AM, so that's the reason why I look like an owl probably. Cool. Take a TV, put it on a stand or wall mount it, and just use it for your gaming. Sounds straightforward, right? And it is, but up until recently that wasn't the case. Why? Well, TVs weren't actually something that would be considered gaming approved on account of their display performance. But nowadays, with the likes of LG's OLED C1 and the upcoming C2 series, TVs have realigned with the interest of gamers worldwide more than ever. To paint a better picture, take this LG C1 model behind me. This puppy is 48 inches across, and while you can use it as a regular TV for watching regular I'm just a display in a family living room content, its technical specifications on the other hand scream, you need to use me with a PC or a console, I need it man! The reason being that it's fully loaded with features that gamers are in search for, like 120Hz refresh rate, 4K resolution, extremely fast response, and as a cherry on the top, near flawless image quality, that last one being a technology consequence of OLED panels. Okay, enough about theory. What is it like to use this big TV for sim racing? Well, it's awesome. The raw performance that it has, being the image quality of this OLED panel or its high refresh rate and G-Sync capability, kicks everything up a notch in combination with its size, especially if you opt in for like a 55 or 65 inch one. It is just way more immersive to play sim racing games with it, plus you can see things more clearly since, well, everything is enlarged and basically true to its size, so you can really have your way around the car where you can place it more precisely where you want it on the track. Now we come to this second part of this video's title. Having one display-like TV just feels like something is missing. It's funny how you don't, or I didn't perceive that when I was playing on a 27 or 32 inch displays, but when you have something this big that can replicate a real-life ratio of things that are surrounding you, the fact that you don't right away see anything on your left or right side feels really awkward, like you're missing a tomato sauce on your pizza margherita. That's why if I had an unlimited space and budget, I would most definitely go for a triple display TV setup, no questions about it. I had a similar experience with Samsung's Odyssey G9, you can check that one later if you want to, although I didn't have that height and size factor, so it was a bit less pronounced. And of course, yeah, as we all do, you can have a hot switch to have a quick glance at your left or right side. That's not an issue here, but with everything almost being basically in 1:1 ratio, your head just wants to naturally turn to its side. You even have the possibility of doing so just by using your peripheral sight. So the need for covering these angles is even more pronounced here, if that makes sense what I'm trying to convey here. Obviously, it's not all roses and sunshine. First of all, it's a TV, and as a TV, it has TV-like features. Meaning, although they are handy in certain situations, they mostly get in the way of other. It's also weird to have a remote, but useful for turning it on and off, because you can't just reach out to it as you would with a monitor, but that's basically it in terms of its use. Another good thing about it is that you have relatively decent speakers in comparison to standard gaming display, although they're nothing to write home about if you want to get anything meaningful in terms of lower frequencies and better fidelity at higher volume. Another challenge is the OLED panel itself, and here I'm talking about the panel burn-in. LG's C1 does have some anti-burning features on your disposal, but depending on how many hours you plan to put in, your results may vary. In my case, throughout this 3-month testing, I haven't noticed any burn-in, which is promising, but if you would to make it your primary display on a PC, let's say, I'm pretty sure that it would show over time, as Linus from Linus Tech Tips and Wendell from Level 1 Tech already confirmed. What this TV doesn't have is PC-like features, for example like downstream, upstream USB hub, or anything else other than the HDMI for its display input. And speaking of that, LG, please be the one who starts this trend of putting display ports on TVs. I guarantee you that the PC and Mac community would be more than grateful. This is something that Gigabyte already picked up, and the reason why they introduced their Aorus FO48U model, which is actually based on LG's C1 panel, but it's quite pricey compared to it, as they are the only one offering something like this on the market, so it's basically a niche of a niche, which is why we need more competition in this field. Touching the subject of pricing, when it comes to having a TV as a display solution, it's definitely something to be considered if you make that assessment based on the amount only. For example, this one can set you back anywhere from 800 to 1100 euros. But considering what you're getting in size and feature-wise, and comparing it to some of the high-end 4K gaming monitors out there, I would say that this becomes more than a compelling offer, especially since LG also announced a 42-inch version for their upcoming C2 series. That's it for this time from me, guys. I would like to hear your thoughts on this topic too. Feel free to put in your comments and questions down below. I really hope this was helpful, and if it was, give it a thumbs up to help me out a bit. And of course, be sure to subscribe for future content down the line. And until then, I'll catch you all on the track.